It's being compared to Hawaii for its lush tropical forests, volcanoes, and waterfalls, but it's one of the least visited islands in the Caribbean and an absolute treat to explore. Dominica, not to be confused with the Dominican Republic, is a small island nation in the Windward Island chain and part of the Lesser Antilles. It's been occupied multiple times by the French and English, the site of sieges and piracy both real and of the Hollywood variety. For a tiny island, it boasts an astonishing 9 live volcanoes, 7 of which are within 10 kilometers of the capital of Roseau. For nature lovers, Dominica is a dream. I had the pleasure of visiting Dominica for the second time recently, the first being almost 20 years ago. This time, it was our first stop on board the Explora 1. Have a look at the link at the end of this video for more details on this beautiful ship. If you're visiting by ship and docking in Roseau, it doesn't get any simpler than a walk down the short pier to the center of town in the market area. It's a simple place, not a fancy port loaded with jewelry stores and designer clothes. You'll find a small marketplace and museum along with plenty of taxi drivers who will offer you an island tour, but unlike some ports, are friendly, helpful, and respectful if you tell them no or that you have a tour booked. I genuinely found everyone we encountered in Dominica to be friendly and welcoming. Let's get on with the tour and come back to exploring the port area afterwards. We pre-booked our tour through Shore Excursions Group, who engaged with local tour companies to offer the best possible small group or private tours with a guaranteed return to ship. I have a link in the description of this video if you want more information. Using that link does give me a small referral commission on any tours you book, but they are not sponsoring or endorsing this video. It was quite easy to locate our tour guide beside the museum and marketplace. We soon set off with a drive through the town looking at some of the architecture, which ranges from colonial and Creole, similar to what you might find in New Orleans, to Victorian, best shown in the churches. The country has been influenced heavily by the indigenous, British, and French, so it's very unique. Taking a turn and driving through the botanical gardens, we observed the crushed school bus with a baobab tree still sitting on top of it since Hurricane David devastated the island in 1979. No one was in the bus at the time, but it was left as a reminder of the devastation that David caused all those years ago. Our first destination was the Titou Gorge, located some 12 kilometers from Roseau, along winding mountain roads. This is where you truly see the mountainous nature of Dominica. Arriving at the gorge, we changed into our bathing suits, put on life jackets, and hopped into the cool, refreshing water. Some opted for a rubber ring at a small additional cost, and were assisted by the workers on site. I opted to swim my way in.
Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
Pretty wild.
Oh, really?
It's a surreal experience swimming against the current using the walls when needed. The water is quite deep and crystal clear. The waterfall and the grotto at the end of the gorge is an incredible sight. This was one of the many filming locations for Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest in Dominica. After drying off, we headed for our next destination, taking in the view of the valley along the way. We soon arrived at Trafalgar Falls. After an easy walk up to the falls viewing platform, we were greeted by the double cascades. This is the same water we swam in earlier upstream at the gorge. The falls are 125 feet and 75 feet in height. You can walk closer and swim in the bathing pools if you wish. Some of the pools are geothermal hot springs and quite warm, so test the water before hopping in. Speaking of geothermal, our next stop was the Sulfur Hot Springs. These are a great illustration of just how active these islands really are. Finally, we headed up to the lookout above the city of Roseau for a wonderful view of our ship and the city below. The tour in total was around 4 hours and expertly guided. We really enjoyed getting to know the island with a small group like this.
Excursion. These were two estates named after families. Girardel being a French family of mixed heritage.
I should note that on our way out of the gorge, we did encounter a larger group from the ship who didn't make independent arrangements for this tour. It was, in a word, busy.
Okay, so you're going to see bamboos along the roadside. The bamboos will...
Back in Roseau, after enjoying a beer or perhaps 3, we did find an excellent grocery store on the waterfront for a few essentials. Very convenient for both crew and passengers. There are beaches in Dominica, but because of the volcanoes, they are mostly black sand. It's tough, mountainous, and covered in rainforest, so Dominica isn't on most people's list of places to go for a beach vacation. There are a number of excellent hotels on the island, from the deluxe international chains to small eco and boutique properties. Direct flights to Miami, San Juan, and other Caribbean islands are available. If you're coming for a visit for more than a day on a cruise, do your research and really understand that it's a different place than the big touristy islands. Twice now, I've found Dominica to be a little slice of quiet tropical paradise with nice people and unbelievable scenery. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and give us a like and a comment. It really helps us grow. I want to keep bringing these gems to you so I can put them on your travel wish list. Thanks for watching.